taking some unusual time. I don't know why. Okay, Mr. Hurst has joined as well. Miss Roshni, your mic is unmute. वो श्वेता जैसा ना हो जाए कहीं. Okay, let's move ahead. Everyone was चिल्लाएंगे श्वेता माइक बंद कर माइक बंद कर. She has joined from Miss Nidhi Naran's email ID. Can you hear me, Roshni, over there? Okay, fine, no worries. Let's move ahead. Okay, so I'm putting two options in front of you right now because see, the time value of money is going to be the first part of our module in this case. Now I'm putting the two options in front of you. You decide it. I'm taking the opinions from you. See, one approach would be now both the approaches are going to be entirely practical because we are going to solve the sums by taking the realistic situations and whatever there is happening in the practical world, we will be taking those situations and accordingly we'll be finding the future values and present values and time value of money, the applications of it. But there are two approaches. One is I'll be doing it theoretically here, and the practical sums will be solved on paper by using the formula which will be the manual formula. That's the one approach. Number two is I would clear the all scenarios, I mean the practical situations which are happening. But the calculations we will not be doing manually on paper, but we'll be using the MS Excel for this. So MS Excel already contains various finance functions. We will be using those finance functions to calculate the time value of money, right? Or the practicals of it. So I'm putting across two questions. One is pen paper based manual practicals, or you want Excel based practicals. Now, if you will be doing the pen paper based manual practicals, then you will have to do it on paper by using the book and pen. And if you are adopting a second option, then you must have the MS Excel as well. So I'm putting across the two proposals here. Let's have the opinion on this. One is manual, two is Excel. Just put your opinion in the chat box so that I come to know where the majority of the opinions are going. Everyone, please. I hope you have understood this. Miss Ayushi has joined. Mr. Gaurav has joined. Good to see that. Okay, Mr. Utsav is of the manual opinion. Good. So pen paper based. Now, in the pen paper based, what will happen, Mr. Utsav, is that you will have to remember the formulas too. So say if there would be 5 to 6 types of future values, then you will have to manually remember those formulas. And in Excel, you will have to remember the formulas of the Excel because manual formulas and Excel formulas are two different things. My purpose is that you must be aware about those real situations. Now, how you practically calculate those situations, one is by the manual calculation, another one is by the Excel. So I have got the opinions of only two students yet. May I have the opinions of the others, please? Mr. Utsav is of the opinion that manual formulas will be okay. And Ayaz is going for the Excel. Others, I'm waiting for your opinions, please. I hope you got my question, every one of you. Miss Rutvi, Miss Ayushi, Miss Queena, Mr. Mann. Mr. Mohit, or you can unmute yourself and let me know. That's perfectly fine to have the interaction. Okay, Mr. Mohit has your opinion that pen and paper would be better. Fine, no worries. Absolutely fine. Miss Urvi wants to go with the Excel part. Oh my god, so I have 2:2. I am there in a dilemma now. There is no consensus established because both of this will not be able to do because we do not have that much of a time actually. Miss Roshni is of the Excel, so 3 is to 2. See, when it comes to the time value of money, no, there are various perspectives to look at it. I'm not compromising on the real situations. Please put it in the back of your mind. The situations, the scenarios, the kind of the things we are going to see here will not get changed. Only the way of calculation will change. One would be the manual pen and paper. Over there, you will have to remember the formula. That would be a manual kinda formula. And number two will be the same calculation can be done in the Excel, but Excel applies its own formulas, because in Excel we have its own formulas. So that's going to be entirely a different exercise. Yes, Mr. Utsav, it's the certification course. It's the certification course. Now that's why putting the two options in front of you. So if there would be an Excel, no, that means you will have to remember the formulas of Excel when it comes to future values, present values, and all the terms of time value of money. Now this is applicable only for the first module. For the rest of the modules, it's gonna be the combination of both. Miss Khushi is of the opinion we wanna do the Excel. Miss Hers is of the also opinion that we wanna do the Excel. Fine. So majority of the opinions which I see right now are from the Excel, but I'll again circulate this to you. You can let me know your concerns and queries. Fine. Today it's gonna be entirely about the conceptual understanding. Understand this, because I have observed that many of the people, even at the MBA level, are not very much clear about this. Even after having the finance specialization, going to the interview, and they are stuck that what's the deferred annuity. They are not aware about it. People even cannot explain what's the time value of money. Many of the students even cannot explain what's the difference between the compounding interest and the simple interest. Now, once we will understand this, then we'll be able to know that how the various assets class works. Okay, that's the part of the first module. Let's move ahead. The fundamental difference here is that there are two types of return you get. One is the simple return, another one is the compounding return. Now, return can be interest, return can be dividend, return can be, some share. When I say share, that means the share of the profitability. So one is the simple. What's there in the simple? That means that return that you get, from the investment is not reinvested again. So let's take the example. Say 100 rupees is been invested by you and you get 5% return on it. That's on a yearly basis. So 5% is the interest you get. Now I'm using the word interest, but it can be dividend, it can be some other types of returns as well. So 5 rupees you get, right? So ideally, your fund value becomes 105 after the end of the first year. Now for the second year, again you get the 5%. Now for the second year, the 5% you get, no, that's on the 100. That's not on 105 because these 5 rupees are not reinvested. Now it's entirely up to you that whether you want to take this 5 rupees back or you want to keep it in the fund. And if you're keeping that in a fund, then also it does not make any difference, no, because anyway you're keeping it idle, it is not reinvested again. तो कई बार क्या होता है कि हम कहीं पे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो अपन है ना उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट से पैसा ले लेते हैं कि भाई 10% का रिटर्न आया, ब्याज आया तो 10% मुझे दे दो अभी. So that 10% is not reinvested again. That's the simple interest. So again the 5% you get would be 5. So at the end of the second year, your fund value will be 10110. If you haven't taken your fund back, there is another option as well. You can take this 5 rupees back. You can say that, see, that return I want on a gradual basis. I do not want to keep it in a fund only. You just give it to me through the bank account or by the cash. That's fine. So you take your 5 rupees back. Again, the fund value will remain 100. But the crux point is you get the interest always on the amount of investment which was invested by you originally. So again you get the 5 rupees. That's again a 5. But the compounding interest or a compounding return is a kind of a return where your return is reinvested again, right? So say if I have 100 rupees of funds which is invested in any asset class and 5 rupees I'm getting the return, then the fund value become 105 at the end of the first year. Now the second 5 percentage I get for the second year, my dear friends, will be on 105 and not on 100. So now the 5 percentage will be of 105. So that's gonna be 5.25, right? So that will be say 110.25. Now can someone tell me what will be the interest of the third year? Now you again get 5 percentage, but that 5 percentage would be on 110.25. Can someone calculate this manually please in the calculator? 5 percentage of 110.25, everyone. What do you get? Let me do it for you. 110.25 multiplied by 5 percentage. So we get 5.5125. So you add it again. So that's the compounding return where your return is reinvested again. I hope that's clear to everyone. May I have the confirmation from the students till now, please? Good to see that Khushi has done it, Utsav has done it. May I have the confirmation till now? Good. Thank you very much. Now, you will not be able to realize the difference between the simple and compounding interest till the time you are not investing it for the long period of time. It creates the huge difference. Let me tell you, my friends, there is a gigantic difference between the two. Let me give you a very simple example. Check it out. Huh? Say you get 10 percentage return. We are taking by both the alternatives. 10 percentage is your expected rate of return on 1 lakh rupees, which is your investment amount. So this is my investment, and this is the rate of return which I'm expecting from that investment. So I want to check that after 50 years, what will be the amount of interest I will earn, and what will be the amount of interest I will earn if it will be the simple interest. So in both the cases, we want to get the interest amount. So let's take it. See, in the simple interest, the straight away you will have to multiply with the number of periods, because 10 percentage you get on 1 lakh rupees. If you straight away multiply 10 percentage with the 1 lakh rupees, so you get 10,000, right? So 10,000 you will be multiplying for how many number of periods? Say 50 periods, because we want to invest it for 50 years. I'm just giving the example, 50 years, because at every point of time in the simple interest, the amount of interest is going to be same only, because the amount of principal is not getting changed. 1 lakh is remaining 1 lakh. On 1 lakh only you get the interest. So your total interest will be 10,000 multiplied by 50. So that's gonna be 5 lakhs. For how many number of years, sir? For 50 years. So that's your total interest. And what will be your fund value? Say if you have kept your interest somewhere in a fund, but you haven't withdrawn it. So 1 lakh rupees you had invested, 50 lakh rupees is gathered as a part of your interest. So totaling this two, your total fund value will be 51 lakh. Because 1 lakh rupees was your investment. That was a principal amount invested right at the beginning. Now let's take the compounding interest. The formula to find the compounding interest and the formula to find the future value of the present value is, the present value is nothing but the amount of investment you make right now. That's why it's the present value. Why it's in present? Because you are investing 1 lakh rupees right now, and we want to find the value of this fund after 50 years. So we are supposed to find the future value. So future value ka formula when you are investing it only for the one time is PV in bracket 1 plus R raised to N, right? So PV is, sir, the amount of investment we make, that's gonna be the 1 lakh rupees. 1 plus R is going to be the 10 percentage rate of return. So that's gonna be 1.10. So I can write 0.10. R is 10 percentage. You can write it in decimals as well. Then also it's fine, right? And N shall be how much, sir? 50. Because for 50 number of years we are investing this. Then 1 lakh. So in bracket there would be 1.10 raised to 50. So let me do it in the Excel because that's just for the example we have done, right? So equal to 1 lakh multiplied by 1.10 closing the bracket and raised to 50. जो 6 के ऊपर रहता है ना वो साइन, ऐसे यूं हवा में रॉकेट की तरह उड़ रहा है, वो रेज टू का साइन है, मतलब समथिंग इज देयर इन अ पावर. सो इन समथिंग इज देयर इन अ पावर, इन दिस केस इट्स 50, राइट? सो आई एम डूइंग इट. So sir, it comes around 1 crore 17 lakh 39,085. That's the total future value you would have for the fund. Now from this you will have to deduct the amount of investment. Your investment was how much? So your investment is nothing but the PV. So FV minus PV is nothing but the amount of interest. So if you reduce your 1 lakh rupees of investment from this, which you had done, then the total interest you have earned reaches to the gigantic amount of 1 crore 16 lakhs 39,085. You can check the amount of difference, my dear friends. This is not 50 lakhs. This is 5 lakhs you have earned. I'm sorry. 5 lakhs plus 1 lakh rupees of investment you had done. So that's going to be the 6 lakh in the interest. Simple interest. I'm sorry for this. I thought it would be 50 lakhs. No, it's a 5 lakhs. Because 10,000 multiplied by 50 would be 5 lakhs. No. So my dear friends, can you imagine the amount of difference you get in the both? Simple interest gives you the interest of 5 lakhs, and the compounding interest at the end of the 50 year will give you the interest of 1 crore 16 lakhs 39,085. That's the power of compounding. I had told you last time around as well, the graph of the power of compounding looks like this. It was stated by Mr. Albert Einstein as well that power of compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. You don't realize the benefits of the power of compounding in a short frame of time. The graph looks like this. It increases by many folds after a certain extent. So till this point of time, you would be like, sir, we are not getting any benefit. We are not getting any benefit. But after some time, it would have the gigantic jump because the amount of investment which you have gathered over a period of time is getting increased more and more. So this is say the time, the X, and the Y is say the future value. So if you are doing it for the compounding basis, no, the future value graph would look like this. The gigantic slope you will be able to see after some extent. That's the power of compounding. So that's the difference between the simple and compounding interest, right? Okay. Now let's go to the future value perspective first of all. Now I do not want to take you to the formula straight away. I want you to understand this from the practical perspective. That how the things happens. Try to understand this. See, first is the future value case when you would have the single transaction, right? So I'm taking the single transaction, or you can say single cash flow. So in the previous example we had taken, it was a single cash flow. You were investing only for the one time. 1 lakh rupees was your investment. After that, you are not investing anything. Yes, whatever the return you were getting, no. That return was getting invested again, but you are not investing the money which would be added in the principal. You are investing only for the one time. 1 लाख रुपए आपने फंड में डाल दिया, बस सिंपल, आपका काम हो गया. एक भी हो सकता है, 50,000 भी हो सकता है, 10,000 भी हो सकता है, जितनी आपकी मर्जी. लेकिन आप एक ही समय के लिए इन्वेस्ट करते हो, एक ही टाइम के लिए इन्वेस्ट करते हो. वो जो इसके ऊपर जो रिटर्न आएगा, इंटरेस्ट आएगा, वो रिटर्न के ऊपर और रिटर्न 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 मिलता जाएगा. दैट वुड बी द कंपाउंडिंग. सो दैट्स द सिंगल कैश फ्लो, right? So the time time frame of the single cash flow looks like this. So this is the present value, this is the future value. You are investing something at this point, and you want to find that what will be the value of this 1 lakh rupees after this many number of years. So say this is the time frame of 5 years. Here the formula is very simple. 1 plus r raised to n, that's the compounding factor. You multiply that with the present value. So you get the future value, single cash flow. Now it comes to the annuity. Now understand the concept of annuity in detail. Now I would give you the various examples that what are the types of annuities. Say you invest in the fixed deposit, it's a single transaction. You invest a lump sum amount of money in the mutual fund, it's a one single transaction. You apply the same formula over there to get the future value. But if you have taken the SIP, that is the systematic investment plan, I hope you must have heard about the SIP. So if you have done the SIP either in a mutual fund or in a stock, that is an annuity. Why it's an annuity? Because, sir, you are not investing it only for the one time. You are going to invest in the series of transactions. Say you want to do the SIP for 10 years. Now we are right now thinking only from the perspective of the investment. Say you are investing for the 10 years, but you do not want to invest for, you don't want to invest only for the one time. In every year you are investing something. Now here is the one time frame we have taken. There could be other time frames as well. Sir, on every 6-month basis I would be investing something. Sir, on every year quarterly basis I would be investing something. On a monthly basis I would be investing something. On a daily basis I would be investing something. There are certain plans of the post office which take the investments on daily basis. आपने देखा होगा कि पापा के पास कई बार या तो फिर आपके ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स जो पोस्ट ऑफिस में पैसा जमा करते थे तो रोज टपाली आके उनके पास से कुछ कलेक्ट करके जाता था पैसा, 100 रुपए, 200 रुपए, 300 रुपए, या तो फिर जो उनके एजेंट्स रहते वो उनके पास आते थे और 200 रुपए 300 रुपए लेके जाते थे. तो डेली वाले इन्वेस्टमेंट्स भी होते हैं. And in the single cash flow as well, the compounding frequency can be daily, it can be 6 monthly, it can be quarterly, it can be monthly. When I say in the single transaction the compounding frequency can be different, that means the time frame can be different. No, say you are investing 1 lakh rupees, understood, but what happens that on 1 lakh rupees if you are investing for the entire year and the compounding frequency is yearly, so that means you get the 10% in a one slot, that's at the end of the first year, so you get 1,10,000. But sir, if the compounding frequency is 6 monthly, then what will happen? Then on the first 1 lakh rupees, you get 5% for the first 6 months. So this is first 6 months. Now this is the semi-annual, right? So 5% you get, and you get the fund value of 105000, and that is at the end of the first 6 months. Now for the second 6 month, my dear friends, for the second 6 months, please put it in the back of your mind. Please understand this. The 5% again you get, no, because why I'm taking the 5%? Because it's semi-annual. So I'm dividing the rate by the number of periods in a year. So if my compounding frequency is 6 monthly, then the number of periods in a year would be 2, because 2 times 6 months gets occurred in a year, right? So next time again you get the 5%, that's on 105. So 5% on 105. Can someone tell me how much it would be? I know, but I want you to answer. 1,05,000 पे 5% कितना? 5,250, yes or no? कि 5,01,000, 500? ओके सर, 5,250. Now for the second time you have got the interest which is 5250. So at the end of the first year your fund value would be 110250. So that is at the end of the first year. So one thing you must observe, my dear friends, please, that if your compounding frequency is annual, then your fund value is 110. But if your compounding frequency becomes 6 monthly, then your fund value, or I can say the future value after the first year, will be 110. See, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि सर कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी जितनी बढ़ाते जाते हैं उतना आपको फायदा है. So the people who do not have the any understanding of the finance, you would be like monthly compounding दे दो तो भी चलेगा, 3 monthly compounding दे दो तो भी चलेगा, और yearly compounding दे दो तो भी चलेगा. ऐसा नहीं है बेटा. जितना कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ेगा उतना आपके लिए फायदे कारक है. अगर यही कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी क्वार्टरली हो गया, मतलब हर 3 महीने में यू आर गेटिंग द इंटरेस्ट एंड दैट इज बीइंग री इन्वेस्टेड, then you would get even more amount. You can check it. Said 1 lakh rupees is the amount of investment and 10 percentage is the yearly rate. So on quarterly basis, how much percentage of a rate you get? So on quarterly basis, the 2.5 percentage rate you get. How did I find 2.5? 10 divided by 4. Because in 1 year we have 4 quarters, right? So 2.5 percentage you get on the 1 lakh. Sir, that's gonna be 2,500. So here your amount would be 102,500. Now this is at the end of the first quarter. But you will get the interest for the second quarter, you will get the interest for the third and for the fourth as well, right? So now you get 5 percentage on 102,500. Can someone tell me what's gonna be the interest now? 102,500 के ऊपर 2.5%, 2.5 percentage. May I have the answer, please? Understand this basics well. Then you will be able to apply this basics in the realistic calculations you do. The people falter in the basics only. जितना फाउंडेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग होता है उतनी बिल्डिंग इमारत मजबूत होती है. फाउंडेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग करो. कॉन्सेप्चुअली हमारे पास पूरा नॉलेज होना चाहिए अच्छी तरीके से. 2562.5. So 2562.5 is going to be the interest of the second quarter. So your fund value after the end of the second quarter would be 104, no, 105,062.5. That's at the end of the second quarter. You can again get something for the third quarter. Now for the third quarter, the 2.5% interest is on this value. So if you keep on doing it for 4 quarters, I'm damn sure, obviously that's mathematically correct, that you would end up getting more interest. So being a finance student, if you come across with a proposal, someone tells you that, say if I give you 10% of the return, but compounding frequency is yearly, then one person will say that, see, I give you 9.5% return, but the compounding frequency is semi-annually. Then one person comes to you and says that, Mr. Ronak, I'll not give you 9.5, I'll just give you 9% return, but the compounding frequency would be quarterly. And the fourth person comes to you and says that you invest some amount of money, I would give you 8.5% of the return, but the compounding frequency would be monthly. Now any layman would fall into this trap. Person would be like, sir मेरे को 10% मिले, 10% मिले तो मैं इसमें इन्वेस्ट कर लेता हूं. अरे मेरे भाई, देखो मालूम है कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी का मतलब क्या होता है? पॉसिबल है कि ये 8.5% would be more beneficial to you as compared to the 10% yearly you get. Possibility, strong possibility. Let's do it. मैं आपके सामने एक्सेल में कर रहा हूं. Now you would be able to tell कि कौन सा ऑल्टरनेटिव में जाना. Right? So say you are investing 1 lakh rupees. We are taking just an example. I'm doing it in the Excel. We won't have to manually calculate this, huh? So
Excuse me,
now you
sir.
are, yes, please.
The Excel sheet is not visible.
Oh my God, right now you are telling this to me. Right now, my God, my friend, oh my friend. Oh my friend. I have done so many calculations over here. You check it up. See, many people would have got confused over there. Oh ये कोई बोलते है यार, कोई बोलता तो सही, मैं ये स्क्रीन शेयर करना ही भूल गया था. देखो, so I have done so many calculations for you here. So if I just speaking over here, no, you'll not be able to get it. It must be visible to you over here on the front. Fine, no worries. I was doing the calculations for you. But next time onwards, if I haven't shared the screen, please let me know well in advance. So I have the four alternatives right now in this case. So let me do it over here in the Excel screen. So 1 lakh rupees is the investment. So I'll be doing 1 lakh. So what's the formula we have got? FV equal to PV multiplied by 1 plus R raised to N, right? So that's the formula we'll be using for all these compounding frequencies. Starting with the sign of sir equal to. So 1 lakh is the amount of investment. That's going to be my PV multiplied by 1 plus R. Now see, R you will be taking in this case 10 percentage straight away, and N you would be taking 1, because we are investing only for the 1 year. Let's take it only for the example of 1 year. So you end up getting 110 in the first alternative. What you will get in the second alternative? So PV will be 1 lakh equal to PV multiplied by 1 plus R raised to N. So 1 plus R. R will be divided by 2 because it's semi-annual, right? So 9.5 percentage will be divided by 2. So what I'm doing here is 0.095 divided by 2, closing the bracket, and raised to how many number of periods? N is the number of periods. So for how many number of periods you will get the interest? So I'll get the interest for 2 periods, because 2 times 6 months occurs in a year, right? So I'm writing N as 2. Rate must be divided by the compounding frequency, N must be multiplied by the compounding frequency. Your future value comes at 109,725.6. So it's clear now that 9.5 percentage semi-annual is not that much beneficial as compared to 10 percentage yearly you get. Let's do quarterly 9 percentage now. So equal to 1 lakh is going to be my present value multiplied by 1 plus R. So sir, R in this case will be divided by 4. So 9 percentage is the rate of interest we get. Let's divide it by 4, because in a year you get 4 quarters, right? So 0.09 divided by 4, closing the bracket, and raised to 4, because in a year you get 4 quarters. So number of periods in this case for which you will get the interest will be 109,308.3. Now let's do it for quarterly. So equal to 1 lakh for yearly, monthly. 1 lakh multiplied by, in bracket, 1 plus 8.5 percentage would be 0.085. That is to be divided by 12, because in a year you get 12 months, closing the bracket, and raised to 12, because number of periods for which you will get the interest and it will be reinvested again would be 12. So pressing enter. So can someone tell me which one is the most beneficial? Sir, the first one is the most beneficial. Over there you will get the maximum amount of money. But if someone gives me that you will get 9.5 percentage on monthly, then what will be the case? So say instead of 8.5, if I am use 9.5, then again it's not that much beneficial for me. The first one, 10 percentage, looks good. Let me go 9.8 percentage. When I go 9.8 percentage monthly basis, then the future value goes above 1,10,000. So it's better for me if I get 9.8 percentage compounded monthly basis rather than getting 10 percentage compounding on yearly basis. So that's the compounding frequency. I hope that's pretty much clear to everyone now. Fine, you people couldn't see this Excel file. I'm really sorry. You could have told this to me earlier because I had done so many calculations for you here. Anyway, no worries. We are still there in a, in the theoretical conceptual part of understanding the time value of money thoroughly. And once we'll understand this, then we can go to other calculations. Okay, so if I give you the brief idea about what I have done till now, is that I had explained you here the difference between the simple and compounding interest, and the huge difference occurs if you get the something on simple basis or if you get something on compounding basis. So I had done the calculation over here. You may check it, that on simple interest basis, if you get 10,000 rupees, then it will be multiplied straight away with the number of periods. So your total interest comes out at 5 lakhs rupees in this example. And we had invested it for 50 years. But in the second one, we had invested on compounded basis, and our fund value reaches to 117,39085. So you can see the difference between the two. 5 lakhs is the interest you have got in simple interest, and 116,39085 is the interest you have got on compounding interest. That's the gigantic difference. That's why it has been stated by Mr. Albert Einstein as well, that the power of compounding is the eighth wonder in the world. Fine, no worries. I'll explain the annuity part in the next session. So if you have any queries, anything which you couldn't understand till now, please let me know. Or may I have just the confirmation from the students that it's perfectly fine till now? Yes, Kushi, everyone, I'm really sorry I couldn't share my screen on timely basis. I forgot only. वो मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस की तरह हो गया, मैं उधर हेलो 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 चिल्ला रहा था, सुन ही नहीं रहे थे, वैसे टाइप हो गया. I know some people would have got confused because it was not visible on the screen only. May I have the confirmation from the student that till now it's absolutely clear? Please, everyone. Fine, fine, no worries. We'll get it in a better way once we will have, we'll go to the next session, but please do not forget to tell me that my screen is not visible now. Fine, thank you very much. As a mark of your attendance, you can put your enrollment number right now, and that's it from my side. See you all in the next session. Bye-bye, take care, sayonara. Please do not forget to put your enrollment number because that will be taken for, your attendance purpose. Once the attendance is done, then you may disperse from the class. Bye-bye, take care.